Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. HarlequinCoHO here, and man, I'm excited to show you this 1 versus 1. This is a really fun game, and I had a lot of fun watching it here. So first off, this is going to be the 1 versus 1 map Langres. I had to look it up. I normally call it like Langres or Langres or something like that, but Langres, I believe, is the correct French pronunciation. This was a small town in northern France that saw a little bit of action during World War II, and has some historical significance. So, in the top position on this map, we will have the one, the only Nystrom. Now, if you haven't heard of Nystrom, you either are just getting into replays, which is fantastic, keep watching replays, or you've been living under a rock forever. So Nystrom is a total beast. This is his Terror Commander, who is currently ranked as number 2 on the ladders. He also has a number 12 Blitzkrieg Commander, a number 11 Infantry Commander, and a number 5 Airborne Commander. The guy is a monster. Look out for him. And his opponent today down in the south is going to be RiflesReady, who is a number 8 ranked infantry player, and I'm unaware of any other accounts he has, that sort of thing. But fantastic infantry player here, and I'm going to go ahead and just go over some of their abilities and whatnot. Actually, by the way, I'm going to pause real quick before we get started here and just make note here. Shout out to Nystrom. Nystrom does have his own live streaming going on, and I will place a link to his live stream in my comments here, as well as a link to just a great site that has a live stream of all sorts of Company of Hero online players. Because there's a lot to be learned just for watching people play everyday average games. So I hope you guys check that out and enjoy it. So let's take a look here. Both players right away building their respective barracks and Wehrmacht corridors and that sort of thing. We'll take a look here at some of his abilities for RiflesReady, and we will see he has a forward barracks, camouflage, engineer rifleman, ranger reinforcements, and artillery strike. Note there is no attrition there, so he is not that kind of infantry player at the very least. So looks like he's going to begin just by kind of moving out here. He's got his level 2 demolitions engineers, which as you can see have a free minesweeper upgrade, which is kind of cool. They can also set demo charges and that sort of thing. I like the demolitions engineers. I keep them handy just for blowing up bunkers and whatnot, and did spend a whole lot of time getting them all the way up to level 5, which was totally a pain. But I'm going to go ahead and switch on up here to Nystrom for the time being. Nystrom, you will see right away, he's going ahead and building a machine gun first. So he's got a machine gun and just his 2 pioneers moving around the field. Pioneers, by the way, with a 16% health upgrade. And you can see here comes his very first MG team off the bat, and it has got a 10% reduction in damage, a 15% weapon damage increase, and a 30% sight range increase. So he's got serious army items here buffing his MGs, and this is an MG first opening for a Terror Commander. I was totally thrilled to watch this. I think that's awesome, and you will see second up he's building a motorcycle. So this is a very interesting opening, and I'm looking forward to seeing how all of these units play out, because undoubtedly RiflesReady is just going to go ahead and build a whole bunch of riflemen first. Pretty much every ally opens with 2 engineers and then 4 riflemen. So we'll see where that's going. Nice central positioning here for the heavy machine gun team. Notice he's just kind of setting up and then moving along, and great combinations here between the motorcycle and the heavy machine gun team. The 2 are moving around as a pair. Look at this micro here. The motorcycle just kind of distracts for a little bit and gives the heavy machine gun team time to set up, at which point the heavy machine gun team just starts opening fire and whatever. And just check this micro out, man. This is just fascinating. I would be so terrified to play against this kind of guy. Check this out. So the motorcycle once again just kind of, baits them in a little bit, has to run away, and bam, by the time that they are in a little bit closer to heavy machine gun team is already set up. This combination here is wicked if you've got the micro and the actions per minute to kind of fuel that really well. So again, really close support here with this motorcycle, just kind of keeping an eye on what's out there and repositioning this heavy machine gun team as necessary. A little bit of fighting going on here on this side. It looks like his pioneers are just kind of getting jacked up by these riflemen. Riflemen, by the way, 9% accuracy, 6% armor, and 20% sight range. All good things to have if you're planning on getting a bunch of riflemen early game. Meanwhile, it looks like we've just got some regular old riflemen just heading up on the right-hand side of the map here, and on the left-hand side. So pretty much infantry and engineers out here. Again, putting pressure on this motorcycle. The motorcycle is a little bit exposed, but once again, just making sure that he's using the heavy machine gun team and the motorcycles. And you can see second HMG team out for Nystrom. Second HMG team totally backing up this motorcycle who baits all the riflemen in, and the riflemen just have to retreat. The combined focus fire of that is ridiculously awesome. Notice the right-hand flank is totally guarded here by this heavy machine gun team because he knows he's seen these riflemen out here. And we're pretty much just seeing a massive HMG team opening. You can see yet a third heavy machine gun team coming out here for Nystrom. With these army items, the crossfire between a couple different machine guns is just amazingly lethal. So here we have the riflemen now moving on in, putting some more pressure on this motorcycle, but you can see this motorcycle is just playing bait practically. It's got great support with it, but again, it's just leading people to their deaths. It's like this awesome mechanical siren here just moving along or something like that. I love it. Anyhow, very, very cool micro, and just look at how brutal that heavy machine gun team can be if it gets a little bit lucky. Sometimes it feels like it's just spraying sniper rifle rounds or something with all the kills that it gets here. You can see heavy machine gun team moves in, and thankfully got some nice looking micro here from RiflesReady. He was very aware of which window the machine gun team was facing out of, and just flanking. Notice, by the way, you're seeing very little heads-on machine gun versus rifleman action here. All the other riflemen here are constantly on the flanks, putting pressure on the flanks. Here you can see everybody is focusing their attention on this building right now, and here he comes in for the side flank, trying to put a lot of pressure on the back of this HMG team. That's pretty much the only way to engage heavy machine gun teams if you have nothing but rifles. If you have, early gladiator riflemen or something, and you can throw hand grenades and whatnot, it's a lot different. But check it out. Look at this tight positioning here. Totally able to guard his flanks. This machine gun has everybody's back covered. This machine gun has the front covered, and the motorcycle once again is moving around, having just got repaired. So pretty much just stalling and back capping with these infantry for the time being. But cool looking early game here. So we've got more engineers here just trying to cap this fuel point. This fuel point is notoriously contested. It's kind of more towards the southern player side here, but whenever possible, both players like to try and cap that. You can see a little bit of fire-on-fire action, and here comes the wonderful backing up with the motorcycle. By the way, motorcycle, 15% increased damage. That's another blue item there, so really, really beefy army items here for Nystrom. You can see it looks like the infantry here for RiflesReady are again just taking quite a bit of fire and having to get out of here. The early demolitions engineers, what with their extra minesweeper, are really great for just kind of doing this passive-aggressive warfare because they never step on mines. Having the free minesweeper is great. I'm surprised a lot more people don't use them early on, but I know that there are other benefits of having, advanced defense engineers and repair engineers and things like that, depending on your playstyle. But if you want to save yourself 35 munitions later on and never have to upgrade the minesweeper. Oh god, and check it out. A little bit of camo action going on here. I've got my sound turned down a little bit so I'm not hearing these little camo fooms whenever they happen or whatever the hell that sound is. But as you can see, this HMG team is just brutal. It is retreating away, but it's important to note, by the way, that having a minesweeper out makes these engineers a little bit less useful in combat because only 2 of them have machine guns. The third guy is stuck holding on to a minesweeper, of course. So here we have just more really aggressive placement. Notice that he's very consciously kind of tanking with one unit just to buy just enough time for the heavy machine gun team to set up, and now this heavy machine gun team just laying into this infantry. Look at that. This is why you never want to attack heads on, and it's not like RiflesReady even screwed up by being here. It's just that Nystrom is just really aggressive with these machine gun teams, moving them up to just the proper distance and then just taking everybody out. You can see these gladiator riflemen are in the upper left-hand corner, and these guys are doing a lot of damage. That's an awesome unit. I like to try and tell everybody what the hero units are in case people forget. Look at this, heavy machine gun teams everywhere. Again, these guys are soaking the damage down here, but look at the nice flank going on by these riflemen, gladiator riflemen. They, by the way, have elite armor. They can throw sticky bombs and hand grenades, and they can sprint and all that sort of stuff. And just check out the overlapping fields of fire. Just constantly adjusting these machine gun teams. This is a really micro-intensive kind of geometric style of play because you need to pay attention to which angle is facing where. And the potential here to throw a hand grenade over the hedgerow, and Nystrom is a badass. He knows that's coming ahead of time. Looks like just wings one guy and manages to take him out, but he is totally on top of getting out of the way there. And also, he's aware of the fact that while he can put a little bit of pressure on this gladiator rifleman squad here, they can easily sticky bomb an early motorcycle and blow it to hell. So he's got to have to get out of there. And pretty much just lots of cover going on here with this HMG teams. Really, really kind of dangerous style of play. I mean, to play against, I would be very, I would be very pressed to do well against this style of play. So, We've got the Gladiator Rifleman. These guys are just awesome, but mind you that Elite Armor, and he's activating his fire up ability here and charging on in. We're going to see he's going to get right past the field of fire of that heavy machine gun team. Remember, in the latest patch, they made it so that you can always see this field of fire information, so he knows how to flank around. It looks like he's able to take out that, I think that may have been a sticky bomb, take out the motorcycle team there, but then having to run away. What I was trying to say was that Elite Armor takes extra damage from fire. You can see a little bit of propaganda and inspired zeal activated here for Nystrom. And by the way, just a side note, the only thing that I ever see really vary between top Terror Commander layouts here is that some people get propaganda and some people get forced retreat. Propaganda is a lot cheaper and you can use it a lot more commonly, but forced retreat is good for getting rid of blobs of infantry and that sort of thing. Look at that. Once again, we have a nice flank here by a bunch of camouflage riflemen. You can tell by their little attack speed upgrade that they have there that the riflemen just came out of camo. They're sneaking around on the mini-map here. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to RiflesReady just so I can keep track of all these friggin' riflemen. I think this is probably the one best move you can have against somebody who is opening with tons and tons and tons of machine guns is just camouflage up. Look at this machine gun coverage. If you can camouflage up your rifleman, here we go, you can easily sneak past them, and especially since he's a Terror Commander, look at this, just sneaking right up on them, opening fire, and having this nice buff from just having popped out of camo, and just taking out all these guys, forcing them to retreat, and just going to have to move out of the way here. You can see these guys are even slowed down a little bit, but that is just brutal. So we're going to see a lot of that, and by the way, speaking on the subject of cheese and things like that, I really think everything goes in war, especially, yeah, they're balancing the game still, and there's still information out there, but I think using camo is not cheesy or anything else like that. It is an ability that's given to infantry commanders, and go ahead, man, use it. So I like seeing it, and especially in this case, I think that's the best use. I mean, if you have nothing but machine guns out there, counter them. Use your infantry commander abilities to counter them, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. He can tell by both of these machine guns that there's no field of fire where he is, and he can just go ahead and open fire right away on this heavy machine gun team, throwing a hand grenade, getting one casualty, killing the entire HMG team. Really awesome use of camo here. To counter a really awesome use of heavy machine guns. So again, I think that's all fair and all that. If it ever turned out that there was some like glitchy bug that was totally unintended and people were abusing that, then yeah, I would call them out on that. But I think, man, camo is an ability out there. Why not use it, especially in situations like this? So let's take a little look at the mini-map here just for a moment and see that control right now is kind of debatable. It looks like Nystrom has got strong central control, but really, you can see by these riflemen just kind of sneaking all over the map here. Gladiator Rifleman once again coming out of camo, putting a lot of pressure on these heavy machine gun teams. You can see that there's this huge area, just this little area here of propaganda to keep everybody away. And for the meantime, the heavy machine gun team's just trying to get out of the way here. We've got the prepared grenadiers here. These prepared grenadiers, by the way, come with a Panzerschreck and an MG42. And it looks like he's trying to set up a stolen HMG team that he borrowed this heavy machine gun, but unfortunately he's setting it up right in the range of Nystrom's own heavy machine gun team and just never even had a chance. Totally picked off by that machine gun team, but oh well. Now we can see, you can tell I don't even have time to cast this. Let me go ahead and pause the game here and just look at RiflesReady. His base, you can see he went right for the supply yard, got his motor pool up, and also got a triage center. Very important if you're going heavy on infantry and taking some losses. Meanwhile, you can see for Nystrom that he just got his Krieg barracks up right now. So let's take a look, see where that's going to go here. We've got one really